Oh my God, I can't believe the roads here. We just came up a really steep grade of twisting and turning road. All the bicyclists except for me had to get off and walk. My partner couldn't shift down low enough. And you'll see when this vehicle comes up the hill, flying. He's coming up. There we go. Or anything like that, but there's definitely some twists and turns, and that's a steep ass hill, and it's in dirt. It's a savanna, what we call savanna here still, or maybe it looks like something that's like a rainforest in the distance. This is pretty typical to chop down all the trees within a mile of the roadway because they're easy to get out on the logging trucks, and then you can see something seems to be emerging and coming back. See if I can zoom in a little bit for a distant view. It's very hot up here, but there's a breeze that comes, and I don't know, I guess it must come from the water. Look at these poor folks have to climb up. This is hard. Look at how hard this stuff is. You either have this sort of hard scrabble kind of stuff with an occasional rock, or you got this sandstone stuff that's a matrix that itself is bouncy, especially if you're going downhill. And if you've got sand, you can go downhill and lose control. This isn't a bad stretch right here on the hill climb, thank goodness. But it's still kind of uncomfortable, so I get out of the saddle and ride the final stretch here until I get up to this little fork in the road. I hope it's not like this the whole way. I want to see some trees.
We do pronounce La Bana. We're getting closer to Semendwa. So
we stopped in this village, and the administrative head of this village seems to be a woman that's hired by the government, and she lives.
She's gone.
She walked down. She's going to make a dinner for us at a very reasonable price, and these are the kids that are all hanging around watching to see what's going on because they've never seen a white man come into the village on a bicycle. Yeah, there's been white guys coming in with this building, by the way, is a colonial era building. Look at the doors on that thing.
It's a colonial
They look solid Congo wood. And it's got a traditional kind of roof on it. So we should sleep pretty coolly tonight compared to some of those concrete places that we've seen up till now. It's almost sunset. We have kind of a haze. I go back and you see the sun a little bit, but mostly a little bit of a smoky haze in this village of 2,000 people that is up at about an altitude of, we must be an altitude of about 300, 400 meters, about maybe 1,500 feet. We came up a terrific climb to get here, and where I fell down once. And they've got their own cell phone tower, so Isaac is like naturally calling his girlfriend to see what's up. I'm going to take a quick little walk down this way. A Belgian era buildings here. Fortunately, the metal one. There's a beautiful girl bringing in some crop there. It looks like she had manioc tied up in a banana leaf. Very curious. They've never seen a white guy on a bicycle come into town before. So this is provides a lot of excitement. I took a photo of the sort of woman who's kind of like she's not the chief, but she sort of has powers like that. She's hired by the government to come here and manage things to some extent. There's somebody else too. This is the road to Semendua. Like Isaac was saying at the beginning, we're on our way to Oshwe, but we have to go to a larger town called Semendua, which we believe we can make in one day. Oh boy, here's the birds eating out of a filthy puddle. Seems to be the dry season. It was supposed to be the rainy season according to meteorological weather reports, but their last rain was like a week ago, which for them is probably a long time. I hear a lot of singing somewhere. Okay, we'll call it quits since it's a long... This particular stretch of road is just awesome for its sand. Yeah. Really, really deep sand that motorcycles, and I would think 4x4s would also have a hard time getting through, especially if the weather was bad. And I'm having to adapt with my baggage. The technical part of the off-road gets really challenging because it's heavy, and I drop and fall. But fortunately, when I fall, I'm falling just into the sand. The only disadvantage with falling in the sand, of course, is that I am putting my equipment into the sand and putting my body, getting it all sandy, which is not necessarily a good thing. We're getting into a more tropical climate. Unfortunately, they've deforested the road more or less on both sides, hacking it away with machetes and stuff. And there's no shade trees to cover us, at least in this section, very rarely. So for the, let's see what else. Oh, when I'm climbing in the sand, here's a tip with the baggage. Take off, don't use your cleats. I've been taking them off. First I tried just working with one cleat, and then I fell in an unpredictable way. Now I'm trying to go with no cleats because it's just too difficult to get control, and you know, when you fall down. But the falling is not really dangerous because it's so slow. You have something to say, Isaac?
Yes, we having hard trip and toughest one, but what's sure is just after that distance from Lebama to up to Semendua, I hope that we're gonna get the easiest way. That means we have just to work hard and to struggle until we struggle, or until we finish that.
Yeah, until we get to a flat spot.
Yes.
Yeah, we're hoping that after Semendua, it's fairly flat to Oshwe.
Very flat.
Also, but it's also, this day is kind of a little bit long day, maybe.
Yeah.
If we make it to Semendua, it will be our longest day ever. So we did leave early, though. We left about an hour earlier than we normally did, thanks to getting up kind of early. The king of the mountain is right here, being taken a photo of. This guy is getting stronger and stronger at 29 versus age 60. Yeah. I knew this day would come and the chief would have to pass over his crown.
You got it.
To Isaac, who is I'm still the mechanical expert. Yeah. But his sheer strength of taking what is a miserable bicycle and putting it up and over mountains is really doing great work.
And I'm looking forward to becoming the next champion of
the Congo. Yeah, that's right. but I'm just thinking about like what the Iowa farmers, how much they can harvest and take this off automatically with their machines. And poor fellow here, hard worker, with no machine, is having to compete with Monsanto and John Deere and Caterpillar and all the rest. It's a very difficult thing. Some of his corn could actually be better if he harvests it, because this isn't as dry as the stuff that, well, it's pretty dry, but not, it's like this is like what you would use for corn feed. Where does he take it? Back to Semendua?
Sac.
You put it in a bag like these, like that?
Yeah, like this.
Back to Semendua?
Yeah, a such a bag. They put in such a bag back to Semendua.
And then how many?
Price of a bag?
Well, that's a good start. What's the price of a bag?
50,000.
15,000 Congo francs, which is about $15. And then he, per bag. And how many bags does he sell in a season?
O teka combien de sacs na saison mo?
Na saison mo?
O récolte ka donc la récolte o teka combien?
Comme ça, 8.
Around 8 bags per season.
Does he have more than one season?
Est-ce que Zara saison mo za combien de saisons?
Non?
Can he grow corn more than once a year?
Par an? Twice a year.
Twice a year he gets that amount, or just that he was telling us what he gets every year?
On is a montant randos aura par. Yes.
Récolte.
Okay. For by harvest, he got 8 bags or 8 bags
Per harvest, 8 bags.
Per harvest, yeah.
And he gets 2 harvests a year.
Yeah, a year.
16 bags. 16 times 15. Are you good at math?
Yeah.
Whoever's watching the video, you can do the calculation. It's not an enormous amount of money.
Yeah, no problem.
And it's an awful lot of labor. And this is a very interesting thing. He has to do this though because it's also for self-sufficiency, right? Does he keep some of the corn for himself?
Yes, it keeps for another seed. Some for another seed.
And then he also, what about, he doesn't feed a cow or something?
He did. All these are people by ngombe. So to listen about Nandaku.
No, he doesn't keep a cow.
Yeah,
we saw a cow walking. Or chickens or something like that. We saw a cow walking.
Yeah, I saw a cow walking.
That way, and they would love to eat this.
Yeah, it doesn't have a frame like that.